Welcome back on the mat. So for our session, a block will come in handy, and you can even use your block for the very first posture by sitting on the block, elevating the hips a bit. You might find that the minute you get comfortable on the block, it's going to be a bit easier to get into this position where the shins are resting on the floor. So instead of a cross-legged position, maybe more of that grounding sort of position. Sit up nice and tall. Tilt your pelvis slightly, so push the sit bones down into the mat or into the block, and then close your eyes. You don't have to sit on a block, but it's quite a nice variation. And as you keep your eyes closed, you'll start to not just focus on the breath, but take control of your breathing pattern. Inhaling on the count of 4, exhale on the count of 4. It's a good way to count in your head, is to perhaps go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Exhale 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So just maintaining that rhythm. Just keep that same rhythm going. Feel yourself slipping into a more relaxed state. Now put that breathing aside and allow your breath to be natural. Slowly open your eyes and walk your hands out in front. So you turn it into a bit of a forward bend. Be mindful of the knees as you do this forward bend. If you have a bit of tenderness in the knees, this could be a little bit uncomfortable. The idea is to just go heavy towards the floor, the breathing being absolutely natural. Use your own inhale to simply lift your head and walk your hands over to the one side, stretching into the side body. Lifting your head, walk your hands back to center and over to the opposite side. Head back to center as you walk the hands back, make your way up into seated. So for the entire duration of the class, keep your breathing pattern deeper than usual. You don't have to do Ujjayi, but definitely a more controlled inhale and exhale through your nose. Let's get off the block and make our way onto all fours. In the all fours position, you've got a bit of freedom. You can tuck your chin round your spine into a cat stretch. Arch in the back and look up, that you can do on an inhale. You can even just sort of make circular motions, just kind of feel into your spine, into your shoulders, maybe pulling one shoulder closer to the hip, other shoulder or opposite shoulder further away, just whatever kind of movements you want to do. Just feel into your back muscles and into the body. And then we meet in a normal all fours position. And in this position, push away from the mat, so get space in between your shoulder blades. If you keep your neck nice and long, your focal point will be sort of just in front of the fingertips, right in between the hands. Now tuck your toes, take your hips up and adjust the feet so that you get into a normal downward facing dog. Your very set, standard, traditional down dog. Inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale, step right foot in between hands. Place your back knee down. Inhale, take arms up, low lunge. Exhale, bring hands to prayer. Push your sternum into your thumbs. Use an in-breath to lift your chin up to ceiling. So slight back bend, slight arch in the back. If it's too intense, sinking the hips forwards. If the stretch is a bit too much, you'll naturally move back a little bit. You won't sink as low. But the idea is to stretch into the left hip flexor muscle. So working the hips down will truly help get you into a bit of a deeper shape. Exhale, bring your hands down. Tuck toes, lock your back legs, step back. Lift your hips, down dog. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, step left foot in between hands. Back knee down. Inhale, arms go up. Low lunge. Exhale, hands to pray. Push chest into thumbs. Slight back extension. Keep the breath deep. Exhale, hands down, tuck toes, lock back legs, step back, plank pose. Very same thing in plank. Dip into the shoulders for a second. Push out of your shoulders into a high plank. Take your hips up on exhale, downward facing dog. In your down dog, bend your knees with an inhale. Get your chest closer to your knees and exhale, straighten your legs as much as you can. Inhale to bend. Exhale to straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. One more, inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten your legs. Bend into both knees. Look up. Inhale, feet in between hands, halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. In breath, bend your knees. See if you can keep all 10 fingers on the floor. So you want to sink quite low to be able to get the hands to stay on the mat. Push your chest into your upper legs, arch in your back. So just feel the back muscles working. That's step one. Now bring hands to prayer. Lift your chest, but maintain that length in your back. Next in-breath. Lift your heels off the mat. Balance on the balls of the feet. Keep length through your back. Take another inhale. Exhale, forward bend, head to shins. Inhale, halfway. Plant your hands, exhale, step it back. And we'll once again do knees, chest and chin on exhale. Keep elbows tucked. Relax onto the floor. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, lower down. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Squeeze palms together. Pull hands away from the shoulders. Next inhale, lift your chest. Keep the tops of the feet on the floor. Exhale, bring it down. Hands below the shoulders, pushing back into somewhat of a child's pose shape and then into your down dog. Bend your knees, look up, and then make your way into a seated position. As you get to seated, step your feet out in front, pull knees towards your chest. See if you can find the outsides of your feet. If this is too much, you might have to grip hold of the ankles. But if you get the feet, rock back, balance on your sit bones, and then lift your feet so that you get ankles in line with the knees, and you work your chest towards your legs. Hold it here. This is where we can make the posture a bit more challenging. But if this is where you want to hold it, you stay there. If you want to, you can lift your feet a bit more. If you want to take it a little bit higher, you can even eventually straighten your legs. Be mindful to not collapse in your back. Keep length. Almost as if you're doing a back bend, you arch in your back to keep your chest up. To get out of this one, bend into your knees, pull your knees close to your chest, and slowly lower your feet all the way down. Keep the feet together, part your knees. We will walk the hands out in front. You don't have to worry about keeping a flat back. Just want to walk the hands as far out in front as you can. And you bring your head closer to your feet. Walking your hands back as you come up into an upright position. Get both arms underneath your legs. The forearms can rest on the floor. As you get into this position, you want to actively pull with the arms up towards the legs, and that's going to create a bit of traction to pull your chin closer to your feet. And I'll make your way back up. And the next one, sort of work into the hip and the upper hamstring a bit, but see how far you can get. You can bend your left leg, casually keep the left leg on the floor. As for the right leg, lift your foot, work your shoulder underneath the back of the knee. So if you don't quite get the shoulder under your calf muscle, you will just stop here. And if you're in this position, kind of push the leg back a little bit just to open up some more. If you get the shoulder directly underneath the leg, then that's good. And then you do the same thing. So you push back to open up a little bit. Slowly bring the right foot down onto the floor. Step the foot down. Keep your shoulder under your leg. Take your arms around your back. See if you can find your wrist. So we turn it into a bit of a bind. This is not even a yoga posture. It's just a little bit of a body movement or a bind that's maybe more accessible, that gives you the sensation of what it feels like to get into a bind when we're on, say, a specific lunge or a deeper seated position. Release the bind and slowly get out of this one. Bend the right leg casually, lift your left leg, and once again we aim to position the shoulder underneath the leg, pushing the leg back. Once again, if the leg is sitting close to the elbow, doesn't matter. You're pushing back. When we get to that same unique little variation, bring your foot down onto the floor. Reach to the back with that left arm. Find your right fingers or wrist and hold. Release your bind and make your way back up. Get into a normal cross-legged or seated position. Place your hands behind your body, palms down, fingers pointing away. Use an inhale to lift in the chest and look up. Arch in your back. And bring it back to neutral spine. Place your hands onto your knees. Like cat and cow, we'll be doing a cat and cow in an upright seated position. So this will be your cat, rounding in the spine, tucking chin. Inhale, arch in the back, pulling onto the knees, lifting in the sternum. So exhale, cat. Inhale, lifting in the chest. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. In-breath. Exhale. And inhale, lifting up. Exhale back into a neutral spine. Straighten both legs. Take your left leg slightly off the mat, so out to the side. Bring your right foot in. So now we've got a bit of a gap between the knees, and just walk your hands out in front. Inhale, come back up. Turn with your body towards your straight leg and actively move closer towards the leg. You can even find the foot if you want to go down more. Inhale, come back up, switch legs. Straighten the right, bend the left. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, walk your hands out in front. Inhale, come up. Turn your body, torso facing towards the right foot, and exhale, come down. Inhale, back up. Let go of the foot. And let's step feet onto the mat. We're just going to get into the shoulders. You can keep the fingers or get the fingers to point away from the body. Walk your hands further away. Lift in your chest to feel a bit of a stretch in your shoulders. Keep your feet on the mat, and as you get out of this one, step your feet a little bit further apart or further away from the body. Then bring both arms to the insides of your legs. Aim to get the arms to point out to the sides. So see if there's a way for your body to get into this position. If you get stuck, stay wherever you get stuck and just hold it there. Alternatively, push your triceps into the backs of the knees, and once again, work towards pulling your face closer to the mat. And before we get out of this one, just for fun, bend your elbows. See if you can get the fingers to meet behind your back. If you reach and you don't find your fingers, that's okay. And let go. You can slowly make your way out of this one. As you get back to center, let's come back down onto the floor. Bring your knees to a 90-degree angle. Arms out to the sides. Nice deep in-breath. Exhale, knees over to the right. Gaze to the left. And I'll take legs back to center. Exhale, knees over to your left. Gaze to the right. Inhale, back to center. Grab hold behind the backs of your knees. Rock up to seated. You want to make use of your block for our final seated position before corpse pose. You can get onto your block, so position yourself into a comfortable seat. We will be working on a breathing pattern that's maybe a little bit deeper, and it in turn will get you into a deeper state for your relaxation. So all the same principles apply. You want to sit up nice and tall. Inhale for the count of 4. Exhale to the count of 8. If it's a bit too much, you can inhale count of 3, exhale count of 6. But in your head, you count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then the exhalation is twice as long. I find that making use of Ujjayi breathing makes it far easier to regulate the pace of the breath. So closing up or restricting in the back of your throat, it's that inhale, that audible sound. So play with that idea. You can rest your hands on your knees or in your lap, sit up nice and tall. I'll count the first cycle with you, and then we will carry on. So start with your inhale. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's a full inhale. 1, exhale 2 and 3, 4 and 5 and 6, 7 and 8. Another full inhale. Off you go. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And continue. Just continue. Now allow your breathing to return to natural. Still sitting up tall. Notice how your inhales and exhales become very supple, or at least subtle and almost non-existent. Relax your face. Keep your spine long. You have two options. You can relax back into corpse pose and stay there for as long as you like. Or you can simply stay in this upright seated position for as long as you want, before then relaxing down onto the mat.